Here we go. It is another live nightcap brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, be like Aaron. Go to Galactic Fried Chicken.
Yeah. Shout out Shane.
You want to do the read today since you were there today?
I can. You can stop in. It's right there in Kentucky, 5 minutes from downtown. It's no big deal to get there. Get yourself some tendies, the new 8-piece dippers. You can do the sandwich. It's on the menu now. It wasn't the last time I was in there. So it's been a little while. Wings, legs, whatever you want. Get your chicken fix, sides, all that. You can get your bottle of sauce to go. I did. And support a fellow Bearcat.
Tell them to pump it up, say 15%. There you go.
All that though, the week of Thanksgiving, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they'll be closed, along with what I'd assume would be Thanksgiving
Thursday,
as well.
Friday, yeah.
But
your internet's bad right now.
That's great. That's just par for the course tonight, really.
It's gonna be a little bit of a problem on a live nightcap, but
hopefully it fixes itself.
Yeah.
Hooray. Right. Internet. I'm not showing the buffer in the corner anymore, so I think we're good.
All right, good. Hopefully we got it situated. We'll let some people get in here as we get rolling. Where would you like to start tonight, Aaron? We got a lot to talk about over the past since we last saw each other early Saturday morning in this space.
I think we should go in chronological order, I suppose.
That means talking about the important thing first, and then the other stuff after. Or chronological order could technically be the AAC recap first, because this is the AAC recap show.
It could. Well,
let's do that first while
let's start here, because this will be a quick topic.
Okay.
Hometown hero out.
Bad look. It's a bad look.
A decommitment from Cam Calhoun, which means another year without Winton Woods recruits.
Yeah, there's
something in the water there.
No, there's stuff behind the scenes, and a lot of people used to attribute it to the head coach. It's not the head coach. It's somebody at the school. I won't get into detail, but somebody at the school that doesn't do UC any favors. Let's just put it that way. Look, he's a kid, whatever. I wish him well.
Yeah, no hard feelings there. I mean, that is what it is. You're going to, especially as we get into the Big 12, you're going to lose recruits. You're going to flip kids too. Like, that's part of the game. Let's not kid ourselves, right?
It's just a bad, hometown hero out. Like, I guess he felt it was clever, but it's not gonna, it's just a bad look. I don't begrudge him for it. But you're spitting in the face of a fan base that like had your back. I think it's silly. I think but if you don't want to be at UC, then don't be at UC. There you go. We had Jeffrey was at the Galactic today. Phil's at Galactic right now. Right now.
That's fantastic.
Watching this from Galactic, I love it.
I went today, yeah.
I made chili tonight. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but
I didn't think we would, which is why I thought I'd start here. Just quick, get it done, out of the way.
The kid didn't want to be at UC. Okay. Yeah. Why we live? Special reason? No, just a lot to unpack tonight. So I thought it would be better in a live format than our normal taped format. That's all. I wanted to give you guys a little something extra tonight, you know. Greg Vito, Cam Calhoun, who was a defensive back from Winton Woods, one of the higher ranked recruits in the 2022 class, 2023 class, decommitted today after taking an official visit to Kentucky yesterday. He must have been very impressed by their performance against Vandy.
I'm sure that's it.
Can we talk about the ECU salt real quick? Some things we're going to have to save for
tomorrow night, or tomorrow night. He'll cut off all of our heads.
Yeah, we can't discuss everything tonight and then get back to it tomorrow night. He had Jeffrey. You have Galactic Friday too, twice in 3 days. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not getting into the mom. Not gonna do it. Let it go. Enough. I'm gonna be the bigger man.
Fair enough.
Unlike Twitter, Chad.
Be a man, Chad.
Yeah, be a effing man, Chad. That's twice in 2 days. People have thought
challenged your manhood based on
challenged my manhood on Twitter. Be a man about my. I didn't know quote tweeting was effeminate. People get really mad when you quote tweet them.
They do. Yeah.
To 15,000 people. I want to say my stupid shit in your mentions, and I don't want anybody to know about it.
Twitter.
Twitter's probably not long for this earth anyway right now.
Time will tell. Wait and see.
Yeah, so we can move on from that. Let's AAC recap real quick, and then we can actually get into to all the stuff that people are actually here for.
My favorite part of the night.
Well, I mean, again, it's interesting now.
Interesting this week.
Yeah. That's what's Mo always say: be good or be interesting.
Sure. Notre Dame eked one out against Navy, 35-32.
We're not going to start chronologically.
I mean,
Tulsa, Memphis on Thursday night.
Oh, I thought Friday was the first one. I hadn't scrolled all the way to the top. That for whatever reason, Saturday was at the top when I opened it up. Tulsa, Memphis. Memphis wins 26-10 in Memphis. Memphis moves to 5-5. Tulsa now at 3-7. Braylon Braxton goes 12-24, 128 yards and a touchdown. Tulsa collectively rushed 23 times for 31 yards. There is a running game worse than Cincinnati, so that's something.
But the most interesting thing about that, Tulsa got in another fight
with themselves.
Surprising, right? No, with Memphis.
Oh,
there was an actual pretty legit skirmish between them and Memphis in that one. They fight a lot, Tulsa. That's what happens when you spend all your time in Tulsa. I guess. Yeah.
As for Memphis, though, Seth Hannigan, 20-34, 262 yards and a touchdown. Again, not a great running game. 39 rushes, 79 yards for 2.0 yards per carry.
Not great.
I don't know if it's the conference has better rush defense or if just everyone has putrid rush offenses. But either way, my goodness.
Cincinnati, East Carolina, we know. Bearcats win 27-25. Okay, now Carry on. You were talking Notre Dame Navy.
Notre Dame ekes one out 35-32 at Navy in Annapolis.
Notre Dame scored 35 in the first half, didn't score in the second half.
Navy had 108 passing yards, 2 touchdowns.
I wonder if it was that third string kid again. He could pass a little.
It was Xavier Arline going 2 for 4 for 57 yards and a touchdown, and Masai Maynor.
I think that was the third string kid that threw those 2 really nice balls against UC.
4-7 for 51 yards and a touchdown, and looks like a wide receiver, Kai Pueloa Rojas.
Mm-hmm.
He was
good work. Sure, I believe you.
0 for 1 with a pick. Maybe that trickery didn't work on that play. They did rush 46 times, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a whole lot else to say there. I mean, obviously, Navy is still on the docket for UCF, so maybe they ride some momentum from this game.
That's an 11 a.m. kick. And the one thing that Navy does really, really well is stop the run, right?
That's what we're told.
And Gus Malzahn is known for losing games like this. Like, he would beat Alabama, and then he would lose to South Carolina the next week. So I don't know that actually is the order of things. But when he was at Auburn, he had a winning record against Nick Saban and didn't always win the SEC West. What's that tell you? Anyhow.
Gus is going to Gus.
Right. Gus gone Gus.
At least we hope.
Better than losing to Vandy. That's right, Lambig.
Every time. SMU beats USF. USF is under a different head coach this time. Still the same outcome.
Yeah.
41-23. SMU moves to 6-4. USF drops to 1-9. The Bulls are in shambles. Tanner Mordecai came back to earth. 19-27, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Only 2 touchdowns?
Only 2.
That guy stinks.
Only 2 touchdowns. They
had
like
75% less touchdowns than he accounted for the week before.
It's wild. Kamar Wheaton and Tyler Levine each got over 100 yards rushing, with 112 actually each. 2 touchdowns for Kamar Wheaton, 1 touchdown for Tyler Levine. And Jordan Curley caught 7 balls for 156 yards and a touchdown. Rashi didn't break the century mark. Rashi Rice only getting 6 catches for 99 yards and the touchdown.
And then
Temple Houston. Temple Houston.
Temple Houston. Okay.
Temple Houston. Temple scored 36. They're putting some points up, but it wasn't.
They've scored 90 points the last 2 weeks.
Wasn't enough to beat Houston. As Houston scored 43, Temple drops to 3-7. Houston moves up to 6-4. Your box score there: EJ Warner, 42 of 59, slinging the ball, 486 yards, 3 touchdowns. What's interesting here is he didn't throw a pick. He is improving. Again, 26 rushes, 47 yards collectively for 1.8 yards per rush. What's going on here, man? Jose Barbone, 8 catches, 128 yards, and David Martin Robinson, 10 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown.
Temple actually, I believe, took the lead with under a minute to go. And then Houston scored another touchdown in that final minute to win the game.
Temple had the lead 36-35 with 1:22 left. And Houston only needed 42 seconds
to answer. Temple, look, I think the Warner kid, Kurt's got what, like 14 kids, something like that. That's Kurt Warner's son.
I know.
Didn't know. He has gotten better as the season has gone on. He went from a struggling turnover machine to a guy that's been at least competent if not really good. He was really good against USF. So give him some credit. I think he'll have a rough day next Saturday, but I'm just glad it's not at 11 o'clock.
On the other side of the ball, though, for Houston, Clayton Tune goes 29 of 40, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Running back Stacy Snead had 11 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. They can actually run the ball. 26 rushes as a group, 196 yards for an average of 7.5, 3 touchdowns collectively. So
there you go.
And I actually watched quite a bit of this game last night. UCF beats Tulane 38-31. You hate to see it. I don't like when good things happen for UCF. But John Rice Plumlee got the start over Mikey Keene. He goes 7 of 30 for 132 yards and a touchdown. Rushed 18 times for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what he brings to the table. Nobody else over 100 yards on the game, but Isaiah Bowser did have 2 touchdowns, rushing 19 times for 54 yards. For Tulane, Michael Pratt, 23 of 39, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyjae Spears, 8 carries, 130 yards. Just a weird game. Tulane had a shot at the end, but wasn't enough.
They looked slow.
They looked ugly in those uniforms. Tulane did.
Which ones? I was with my in-laws. I didn't even.
The sky blue pants.
No, those are awesome.
With the green jerseys.
Oh, no. I don't know if I'd mix that combination.
I don't mind the sky blue with the white, but yeah, the sky blue with the green. It was.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It was a color vomit on my TV.
Was it worse than Oregon, Washington?
No.
You didn't like the highlighter yellow?
No.
My father-in-law went on a 5-minute rant about that. That's stupid. Don't you feel like an idiot when you put those things on?
Yes, is the answer. But Nike's paying the bills.
GMAX said, bad news, AAC championship game in Orlando. Good news, 3-hour drive to the game. Let's not count the chickens before they're hatched.
Temple's been scoring some points. Navy almost.
USF. I don't think USF's going to get.
Oh yeah, they play USF, not Temple.
Yeah, they get.
You're right.
The war on I-4. I think it is.
But it is a rivalry game. I mean, that's the last thing these kids have to play for this year. South Florida has.
The coach got fired. They're not going to a bowl.
They have nothing to lose, literally nothing to lose but the game itself.
Right. Okay. Well, that should about do it. Nothing else to talk about, right? Nothing else happened Saturday, did it?
Well, we can say, I guess nothing else happened Saturday. The polls came out today. If we wanted to update the polls real quick.
I was just talking.
I know you were.
I know why there's 64 people here.
Correct. But I don't know. I just thought I'd update the polls.
Okay, go ahead.
Why not? Cincinnati does move back into the top 25 in both polls, as they are now 22 in the AP and 21 in the coaches. UCF sitting at 18 in the coaches and at 17 in the AP. I think I saw as high as, I want to say they were ranked over UCF in some voters for the AP, believe it or not. I think I saw them as high as 16 on 2 or 3 different voting cards.
Gotcha. I mean, that's where you want to be, you know?
Yeah.
You want to be in the rankings. You want to be mentioned on ESPN. You want to be in the scroll. But yeah.
So what do you want to talk about, Chad?
I want to get your opinion. You
opinion.
had a chance to see Isaiah Collier for the first time on Saturday.
I did. Well, I saw him for the first time actually Friday night. For being honest.
Yeah, but I mean play.
In action. Yeah.
You didn't see him play on
some.
Did he have a basketball on the sidelines or
Arlington Page did.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
But he didn't play.
He did not play. That's why he had a basketball on the sideline. But yeah, Isaiah Collier's as advertised. He's fast. He passes the ball extremely well. So well, in fact, that his teammates, he probably would have had a half dozen assists.
He probably would have had 15 assists.
His teammates can't catch a ball.
He does put some zip on it.
Like the no look or the window where only Isaiah Collier can make that pass. He can certainly fit the ball through the window.
How about his first step or his burst as he gets down the floor in like 4 dribbles?
He passes. I mean, I think there was one fast break where he passed 2 defenders that had
they were standing still.
Yeah, I mean, they probably had 4 paces ahead of him, and he just blew past everyone.
The guys at Wheeler will just throw the ball down the floor because they know he will be the fastest one to get there.
Yeah,
at times.
Yeah, he's strong finishing at the hoop. He can shoot the ball. He's a good free throw shooter. So if we're trying to continue that after this year, that's not a bad place to be. He didn't seem to be one to bark at the refs a whole lot either. Obviously, it was an exhibition. I felt like there was some barking at the refs. I didn't really see Collier being one of those doing so.
I saw at one point that he did have like a full conversation with one of the officials as he was like checking out of the game.
Yeah,
like they were just like chatting. I don't even know what they were talking about, but the official was giving him some kind of advice on something that he had done, and Zay was very attentive. Wasn't like standoffish at all.
He also wasn't there like, what do you mean? Why me?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't any of that. It was just
they had a conversation for like 30 seconds.
Rare thing in today's society.
He's really good. Was that your takeaway? He's really good.
I mean, the funny thing is he's really good. So is Raleigh Burgess.
Yeah, he's very good too. He's very good too. It's tough to tell. Wheeler didn't really have a big guy. Like they had one kid that was tall.
He got into foul trouble.
Yeah, but he wasn't really. Yeah, Riley ate him up.
Yeah, he was very skinny.
Yeah, and Riley is, for a junior in high school, that kid is filling out extremely well. The problem with Riley is, I think, if you typed into Twitter or asked your little chick on your iPhone, what does a Big Ten basketball player look like? You would get a picture of Riley Burgess.
I don't even think that's it. It's what does a Wisconsin basketball player look like?
Iowa. Except Iowa, he would have had to have dyed his hair blonde to be an Iowa guy. Or shaved his head. Gone with the buzz cut. Keeping him out of the Big Ten is going to be like that kid just looks like a Big Ten basketball player.
He was a thick kid. Yeah.
He could shoot it. He can pass.
Mm-hmm.
He's got good footwork.
He's also fast going down the floor. In transition.
For a guy his size, yeah.
Yeah. And you can tell his teammates love him.
Yeah. It was a really good event. Like I'm glad I had the chance to get out there.
Yeah, he had Raleigh had 21, I believe, and Collier had 19, unless I have them backwards.
I think that's backwards. I think Collier had 21, Riley had 19. It was fun. There was a good crowd. It was probably 75-80% full, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of UC fans, a lot of red and black.
Even the student section for Sycamore had Bearcat stuff on, for whatever that's worth.
That was their quote unquote spirit theme, was wear UC stuff to help UC get Isaiah Collier.
It was still a nice hat tip to an opponent.
Yeah, it was. It was. And then you had a couple Michigan coach assistants there.
You did. I pointed them out immediately if their full Michigan garb didn't already do so.
I guess for whatever I was told initially that they're not allowed to go to scrimmages, but somehow I guess they got it cleared through the
They being
NCAA.
Michigan or they
No,
being
the
Cincinnati?
event. No, the event itself.
Okay.
Like you have to get there's like a waiver you can get from the NCAA to have your event like certified, I guess is the way to the terminology, proper terminology to use. So they were able to do that so that coaches could be there.
Fair enough.
And then Cincinnati was 3 deep with Wes Miller, Chad Dollar, and Andre Morgan.
Well, if Michigan didn't know about Raleigh Burgess before that game, they do now.
I'm surprised we haven't already seen the Michigan has offered Raleigh Burgess tweet. I joked with some people that I was chatting with that like, if it takes 45 minutes for that offer to happen, I will be surprised because he looked that good. I mean, kid's really good. And it was interesting for me because the only times I've seen him play, he played with Flory. They're, by the way, Riley Burgess and Flory Badunga, AAU teammates for Indiana Elite, which is coached by Mark Adams, who is the father of Drew Adams, who is the associate athletic director for basketball at the University of Cincinnati. Is UC going after Burgess? Absolutely. I think they were his first offer. I just think it's going to be tough to keep him out of the Big Ten. They will have to do a lot of work to keep that kid out of the Big Ten.
I just love that anytime you're talking about any kid who's worth a shit, Cincinnati's their first offer. This staff is so good at getting ahead of everyone else on the kids that are worthwhile.
They have a very good eye for talent, and they're not afraid. You know, a lot of schools are afraid to be. You don't want to be the first. They don't want to be the first because if you're first and the kid picks you and you made a mistake, like, you know, that's why you'll see like Oklahoma offers a kid and then right after Oklahoma State offers a kid. Same with Luke's staff. Lambic said, yeah, I mean, very similar. They're not afraid to be that first offer. So it helps. It definitely helps. All right. What everybody wants me to talk about. I don't know. I can't tell you the last time we got to this point in a recruitment, and the answer is still genuinely, I don't know. I don't know. Gun to my head, I mean, if I had to pick one, I would probably still say USC just because they've had the juice, quote unquote, for the longest. But I'm still trying to understand this weekend.
It's a wild thing to have a scrimmage scheduled the last weekend before the kid commits as he goes on Friday night to none other than Nippet Night.
Yeah.
And then the staff gets to see him play right before on Saturday.
They practiced at Fifth Third Arena on Friday. Their walkthrough before they went to Sycamore for the game was also at Fifth Third Arena. So he was in the arena twice. He was at the football game. I don't know what.
Have you ever seen anything like this? Like
no, not, and for there still to be uncertainty. Like stuff like this happens, like when it's done, right? Like when it's over, when it's in the bag, and that's not the case here. Like the kid, if he does know, he hasn't tipped off anyone. Greg Vito says, "Might take crazy ass coincidence." I don't know what to make of it, and I've tried to rationalize myself on it. I've tried to like talk myself into one way or the other. I'm confused, and I'm very rarely am I confused. Bearcat 12. I there we go. I agree. It is weird that it's not getting the national conversation that he just happened to be at UC. I wonder how much of it is, directly tied to it wasn't like something anybody knew about until it happened. Like I to my knowledge, the plan when they got to town was not to go to the football game. Like the football game wasn't in the original plans. So I wonder if that was something where they were just like, look, we're going to be in town. Like, can we go?
We found out at the same time on the sidelines.
Somebody kind of let it slip a little bit that it might be happening. That's how we found out. I was told like Thursday, I was told that they wouldn't be, or the plan was not for them to go to the football game.
I got to watch your reaction in real time, and it was hilarious.
I tried to play it off because the person I was talking to let it slip.
Well, you had your hood up. You had your hood up, so he didn't see your face reaction. I saw your face reaction as you turned around to me, and yeah, it was like Tobes. It was like the Tobes gif.
Yeah. No, he was on the sideline. I was standing right there. I put a picture on Twitter. My much maligned Twitter account that people keep telling me to be a man about. What did somebody tweeted tonight? Asking Chad not to be a smartass is like asking a bear not to eat salmon.
What about this
chance
question?
He pushes.
Do you know when the scrimmage was scheduled?
It's been in the works for a while.
Okay. So it wasn't.
We're after the fact. I think the initial plan was for it to be at the third arena. And then the NCAA, there's rules you have to follow.
I can't imagine that any other schools would have complained about that or anything.
Yeah. It was supposed to be at the arena. Now this was all between Sycamore and Wheeler. Like that, UC obviously can't be behind something like this. So but I don't know. Keith wants to know what I'm going to do to entertain myself when Twitter blows up and goes away. Keith, there will be something that replaces it. I don't know what. But there will be something, and I will find it because I need to stay entertained. Jeffrey said he saw Tobes today. Didn't say anything, but it was cool. Yeah, Tobes stopped by and said hello over at my media post, and I was like, "Sit!" And he was like, "I got friends. I gotta go back to you."
I saw him in the stadium, and I said hi. We dapped up.
Chad being a prick. Who knew?
Everybody's got to be somebody.
I mean, you would think at some point in time over the next 36 hours, Isaiah Collier would make a decision. I've asked around. Normally, it is standard or it is typical. A recruit will call and let people know, let the staffs know his decision of the schools that are in the final list. The people I talked to said they don't think that the kid has been so savvy about not letting it out. What generally happens is when you call a staff and tell them they've lost, that staff no longer really cares about the anonymity of your decision. And it gets out pretty quick, because a lot of these national guys are on scouting services. The schools themselves are connected to the scouts. So it gets out pretty quick.
It's good for business.
Right.
Good for clicks.
Yeah. My hunch is he's going to take this one to the announcement with him. And everybody will find out when he lets everybody find out. That's my feeling.
It's been a while.
So we're all going to be waiting in suspense on Wednesday. I've been trying to find out a time. I haven't gotten a time yet. Like they want this to be as much of a surprise as it can possibly be. And I don't know that I've ever seen a high-level recruit do as well as this one has on keeping a lid on things.
I love that Desmond Ritter and Sauce were in attendance on Friday and also had a chance to talk with Isaiah Collier.
I'm not sure that happened. I don't know that happened.
I saw it on Twitter. I don't know. That's all I'm going by. I
know
never
that
saw it
that
with my own
happened.
eyes. But
I know Sauce stopped by to say hello, and Zay wasn't there. He didn't. Instead of sitting where the recruits normally sit, he went back with his team because he wanted to be with his team.
That's a good look.
Yeah, he could have been singled out and special and soaked up all the adoration and accolades and attention and whatnot and what have you, and he wanted to be with his team.
It's a good look.
Yeah, that's who the kid is. He's a good kid. He's just a kid that's really damn thorough about not letting anything get out about where his head is at. It's gonna come as just as much of a surprise to us as it is to everybody else. Which, good on him. It's a pain in the ass. I imagine it'll be good for clicks this week. For people trying to look. We've seen clout chasing throughout this process, throughout the business.
Football, basketball, yeah.
But I mean specifically Zed.
Okay.
Crystal balls and, people putting out information that, I was able to debunk in 3 minutes. Like, this is true, this isn't, da-da-da-da-da. I have to imagine people are going to be doing everything humanly possible to get out in front of whatever he announces on Wednesday. But I don't have any reason to believe any of it.
Well, he's kept it dark this long. Why would you let the cat out of the bag right before the finish line?
3 days before the finish line.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I have to think he's going to be pretty buttoned up about it and not let anything out. I don't know. I wish I had a better feel, Aaron. I wish usually by this time I can if it's going to be bad news, let people brace themselves for bad news, or if it's going to be good news, get people ready for a party on Wednesday. It's either going to be the ultimate high or sad emoji, cry emoji.
So it's like we're either going to have a cookie cake or
a shit sandwich.
I mean, pretty much. Steven says on Wednesday, Michigan plays at 6, Bearcats play at 7, USC plays Tuesday at 11. UCLA doesn't play Tuesday or Wednesday, for announcement window purposes.
Appreciate the research.
Well played, Steven. Well played.
Hopefully he doesn't do this during the UC and KU game. Do you think it's possible he still isn't sure himself? Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I would say he has to have a gut feeling by now of what he wants to do, but maybe hasn't finalized a decision. But this is a kid that's been very thorough, very detail oriented. I would have to believe 3 days from decision day, he at least in his head has to have an idea of what he wants to do.
Seeing how many fans showed up for a scrimmage against Sycamore, seeing how many fans showed up at Nip at Night comparatively to the fans that have shown up at USC for their young season in basketball and USC for football this season.
Yeah, I mean, USC's been really good.
Not for attendance.
Their attendance for football games hasn't been good?
I don't think it's been what Nippert's been. SoCal, there's things to do.
Yeah. Is he signing on Wednesday as well? I believe that's the plan. Like that's Wednesday is the last day of the early signing period. So if he was planning to sign late, there would be no need to announce Wednesday, right? Like that's the end of the road for the early signing period. Now you can sign and not announce or do your signing ceremony until like Thanksgiving or
whenever you're back with your family and all that.
Yeah. That would be so shitty to do it during the NKU game. To me, especially like he commits to UC at like 8:00, like halftime of the NKU game.
Halftime would be a favor.
Right.
At the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
Not during a TV timeout.
Isaiah Collier commits at the under 8 stop for the UC NKU game.
I mean,
I've got 75 things to do. Like I don't get to watch any of the game at all. Anything behind what his mom said? Or I think it was just a reporter there. Like
I don't know what his mom said.
There was an SI article. There was, I think it was Jason Jordan that went to his house on a night that the family was in October, late October, I think, sitting down and having a conversation about his decision and the process. And they just went through each school. The only thing his mom said is there's a concern with Cincinnati that Wes has never coached an elite 5-star type kid.
I just don't read SI. But
the thing is,
I did see that quote.
It's just the truth. Like when you're weighing pros and cons, you're weighing pros and cons. I know fans, and not singling you out, Tonk, but you're a gigantic fan. Fans hang on every word in an article like that, right? And if they see anything that isn't sunshine and roses, all of a sudden it's a negative. Well, no, but that's the reality of Wes being in year 2 at a high major program, is he just hasn't landed an elite kid yet. And Correct. Are you comfortable with being the first? And that's going to have to be part of their decision, because that's what it will be, is Isaiah will be the first for Wes. Won't be the last, but he will be the first. Are you okay taking that risk? I think like if you want to see Will Wes play a freshman, Dan Skilling's getting a bunch of minutes right now. And Dan Skilling's is going to be really, really good. But he's not day one impact college ready like Isaiah Collier is. And Wes Miller has had no problem getting Skillings on the floor. So I think it's just parents being parents, Tonk. I mean, I think they were answering honestly like that. I've dealt with his dad a bunch through this process. He's always been completely honest about where things are at, what he knows, which is usually very little because Isaiah doesn't even really talk to his parents about it. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm optimistic. I'm not going to say I'm pessimistic. I'm going to say I don't have any idea. And that's just the honest, like, maybe this will make people feel better. I did think I had a pretty good feel going into last week. And out of nowhere, he turns up at Sycamore on Saturday. And he's at the game on Friday night. And his school is at Fifth Third Arena twice practicing. And now, I don't know. A gun to my head, I guess I would still say USC. But I think this thing's up in the air. And then here's the other thing I think that is important to note, Aaron. When everybody is like, this thing's been over for a long time. Or he knows what he's going to do, da-da-da-da-da. Do you think Michigan would have sent 2 assistants to Sycamore High School on a Saturday if they felt like Isaiah Collier was going to USC or going to Cincinnati?
I think that's a very interesting point that I hadn't thought of.
They don't know. They clearly don't know.
Yeah.
Because if they did know,
and it's
Juwan
not
Howard would have been here.
Right, and it's not like they it's not like those were like slouch coaches. I mean, it was Sadie Washington and Howard Isley. Like
they're bench assistants. Well, that's the only bench assistants can be on the road. But
I know, but they're still like,
yeah,
they're dudes. Like they're not just trying to waste their Saturday on something that's dead.
Driving down, or if they even if they took a charter down, like whatever, it would have occupied your entire Saturday.
Correct.
To go to Sycamore High School in the middle of the afternoon to watch Isaiah Collier play. So Michigan still thinks they have a chance. Cincinnati still thinks they have a chance. And USC thinks they haven't. Like that's, if you want to know, peek behind the curtain, if you want to know why a lot of the information over the past month and a half is centered around USC, it's because USC is telling anybody that they can tell Isaiah Collier's coming to USC. Michigan doesn't believe that to be the decision yet. Maybe it will be.
I didn't see any duffel bags.
I try to think through these things as logically as possible, to come to logical, knowledgeable conclusions. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to think about where this is going to go on Wednesday.
I don't know.
So maybe the USC lean has been false this entire time from Bearcat 12. Possibly. Or USC knows something that he told USC something he didn't tell everybody else. Like I can't speak to that because I don't have a concrete answer to that, right? If I did, this conversation would be much easier. You know what I mean?
I don't think I realized how long Andy Enfield had been at USC. This is
Lob City was a long time ago.
This is his 10th season.
Yeah.
And I was looking up the top recruits for USC. Obviously, we know Evan Mobley, but just trying to look at guys who have been there since he got there. Evan Mobley would be the top recruit.
No point guards.
Isaiah Mobley, his brother, another forward. Vince Iwuchukwu,
yeah,
another center. Kevin Porter Jr., shooting guard.
No point guards.
Nope. Onyeka Okongwu, another center. Chimizi Mitu, another forward. Charles O'Bannon, I believe that's one of the O'Bannon brothers' kids.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
A shooting guard. Elijah Weaver, a shooting guard. Kajani Wright, a small forward. Trey White, a small forward. Arlington Page, a center. Yeah, no point guards. So maybe it's time to be different. Elijah Stewart was another guard. He was a shooting guard, class of 14.
Yeah.
But he was he was a 4-star, so not a 5-star. Wes has had 4 stars.
Yeah. Jeffrey's just here for the ride. Actually, Tonk, here's where I will disagree. College Game Day is going to Montana State. The show getting bored. I think they're spreading the love around a little bit on a weekend where there's not anything super obvious. 1, 2, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 3, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 4, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 5, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 6, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 7, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 8, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 9, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 10, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 11, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 12, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's watchable with Pat McAfee. 13, I think the show's the best it's been in a decade. It's wat He's entertaining. He's funny. You kind of always have that sense of like, what is Pat going to do next? Kind of thing, or what is he? What is he going to like when he jumped in the Tennessee River from one of the boats?
He's crazy.
Yeah, that makes it fun. Like that makes it spontaneous. Too often with those shows, they're not fun because they're boring.
Oh, they found us again, Chad.
Damn. What did I say? Did I say a keyword? Did I trigger it? They're boring. They're predictable. It's just a bunch of suits sitting at a table saying the same thing about the same teams every week. McAfee makes that show
fun,
spontaneous,
younger, significantly younger.
Yeah.
I mean, they had I don't know. I know there was a country singer. Was it Luke Bryan this week?
Yeah.
And McAfee ended up saying, "Son of a bitch," and then that made its rounds across Twitter. And all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, College Game Day is fun," because how many people are tuned out to College Game Day?
Right. And I wasn't pinning that just on you, Tonk. The talk of that show had been happening for a while, that the show was just unwatchable. And I think a lot of that was Lee Corso. I just think his time passed. Like he wasn't interesting anymore.
He's a doddering old man. Like he's done some shit. Like he's certainly done some shit. And the mascot stuff was always fun.
Right.
But he's not quick like he used to be.
Right. So I really like where the show is at right now. It'll suck if we miss, but we do still have Jizzle and Rayvon, plus potential for Flory if he chooses to reclass. Autocorrect.
That was
you're
great.
You're gonna have to get Flory. You're gonna have to get Flory saved in your phone, Joffrey. Yeah, they're still. If it doesn't happen, this staff is not gonna just sit idly by. You can guarantee that.
Chad, it was like when they kept Lou Holtz on for one too many seasons.
Yes, it was. It's pretty good, Lou Holtz.
You're welcome.
Dude was roommates with Burt Reynolds. A lot of people don't know that. That's true.
It's fantastic.
He was Burt Reynolds' roommate at Florida State. It's an old dude. Basketball today.
I was gonna say, you want to talk about the game today?
Yeah, I'll have a little write-up tonight when we get done with this. I'm not going to completely bail on my responsibilities basketball-wise for the entire week. Really good start, and then I think they got kind of lulled into Eastern Kentucky's style of play. They went cold a little bit. That end of the final 6 minutes of the first half and first 10 minutes of the second half, but.
Is that something to be concerned about now, as that's happened 2 games in a row?
Maybe. I mean,
that they don't close the first half and then open the second half very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's something the coaches definitely, are going to have to address.
Sure, and I wonder how much of that. I had some side conversations with friends. I don't just talk to you about basketball, but
you probably should.
Maybe. But just wondering how much, when you play Tuesday, you play Thursday, you play Sunday, how much time do you really have to practice at that point to try and work on anything that needs fixed?
Stop for a second.
Well, I mean, I asked my question. In any case, I'll leave in the middle of a question. Cincinnati does get the win, 87-69.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to talk for more than 8 seconds.
No, I had a question.
You can't expound on elaborate on the question?
Well, like I said, I mean, there's not a ton of time there. I don't know what the rules are as far as if you have games, how much you can practice.
Have to take 1 day off a week.
In between Tuesday and Thursday, you didn't have any time.
So essentially, you had 3 games and a day off in a 7-day period.
Sure.
So you would have had time for 3 practices.
Even with those practices, though, you can't go too hard because you have games.
Right. You get to more like walk or like shoot around type status.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah, I mean it is. He said it's like
what's your hat doing? That was just funny.
Tournament basketball is about short turnarounds. Could be a good experience going forward. Yeah, I mean these guys, like remember these guys all grew up playing AAU where they play 7 games in 4 days.
I get it, but as a coaching staff, how frustrated are you that you know what you need to work on, but you can't really get into working on it because you have 3 games in 5 days.
The payout now Monday to Sunday, 7 days.
And their first game was Tuesday. No, it was Monday. You're right.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday because we had the day off.
The payoff is in December when there's 3, 4, 5 days in between games, a little more often. And the nice part about that is once school is out for the holidays, the 20-hour restriction is gone. So you don't have limits on how much you can practice. You can practice pretty much any length you desire once you get past into the holiday.
So what'd you see that you liked? What'd you see you didn't like?
Hard not to like what you saw from Jared Hensley today.
Man.
I thought that was his best game as a Bearcat.
We did talk about him being the big. I think we both agreed that he was going to be both of our biggest surprise for this season.
Yeah,
and he showed out today.
Playing
with confidence.
And attacking the basket and offensively looking a lot more comfortable. Odie had a good day, as people were mentioning in the chat. 12 rebounds. I think 6 of them offensive.
It was 6.
Yeah. So he was active and aggressive. He really helped set the tone. That got them going early.
How much fun is Vic?
Did you see when he did that, the behind the back pass? Mm-hmm. He got about 2 steps inside half court and started dribbling towards the corner so that he had a better angle to make, because he knew if he tried that behind the back pass and he was too close, it's not going to work. So instead of dribbling at the rim, he started dribbling to like the corner towards the bench so he could get the right amount of separation to do the wraparound behind the back pass.
My favorite part about that entire highlight is the whole bench knew it was happening before it happened, and they're on their feet as it's happening. And you see Daniel Skillings on 1 foot hopping up and down on 1 foot.
I love Dan. Dan's such a happy, energetic dude. The thing with Jarrett, and this is what we talked about, confidence. He needed confidence. He needed to believe I belong at this level.
Certainly I don't know that you could argue that it was his best game as a Bearcat.
It felt like he had a lot more than 3 rebounds.
I agree. But I think that's because of what he was doing defensively. I mean, the 2 blocks, those were big.
Well, and one of the blocks on a point guard, or a two guard, a smaller 2 guard, but was able to stay with a smaller guard. Like, I think you're literally getting to the point where he can. I'm confident, very confident in him guarding 3 through 5, and don't mind if he ends up switched on a 2.
Which you can't say that for all of our bigs.
You can't say that for any of the bigs, but Jared Hensley.
Going through it in my head. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know that Odie's capable. I don't know that Odie's capable of that. Vic certainly.
Yeah. You don't want Vic running around chasing a guard.
No. He'd get into foul trouble. But yeah,
And that's such a weapon for Wes to have a kid that size that moves like he does and has like the attitude, the mindset that he does.
well, if he continues to be a defensive presence like that, and you put him in the same conversation, or even in the same lineup for that matter, once John Newman comes back with Rob Finney, you have three key defenders like that. It doesn't matter who else you have out there. Well,
Right.
Nolly's no slouch defensively.
The tone of Wes after the game wasn't great on Newman.
I gathered that.
And he said he hadn't talked to John yet. So I don't want to, speak out of turn here. But the sense I'm getting is it's going to be a little while.
You're still running a 10-man rotation right now, though, and I don't know that I felt like at any point in time we were running tired or running
but
low on substitutions.
He's your best defender.
I understand.
By a large margin. And he's a guy that he's an energy giver, right? Like his play is infectious when he's on the floor because he plays so hard.
He's also a leader out there without saying
a
anything.
Word. Right. Well, and that's what I'm talking about. Like that's what an energy giver is, essentially.
Well,
he's a guy that doesn't have to say a word, and his play impacts everybody that's around him.
He's a glue guy. He's a de facto leader. Yeah, I mean, you're missing an awful lot without him being able to play. Once he comes back, though, if this team is rolling without him and you're getting, again, as long as Skilling's injury isn't anything to be worried about, which we'll see. But if you're able to get Dan those extra minutes, if you're able to get Hensley those extra minutes that they wouldn't have otherwise, and then you just inject Newman into a team that has been playing well without him, I think that's huge.
Yeah. Shane says maybe he'll set up a podcast booth in his office area next year, and we can do some live Galactic fried chicken nightcaps when you're in town.
That'd be interesting. You tell them that we only work for exchange of food.
Yeah, Aaron likes tendies. I like thighs and legs.
We're talking about chicken.
Chicken, ankles. Aaron likes ankles.
Get out of here.
Big ankle guy.
I hate you.
I think the most encouraging thing I took from the first half was what it looked like. We got a glimpse of what happens if Landers, Dave, and Jeremiah are all kind of clicking at the same time.
Yeah.
And it went from 10 to 8 to 34 to 15 in like 6 minutes, it felt like.
But then you also saw on the flip side of that what happens when this team breaks down defensively.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew that we talked about the defense is going to be a work in progress. And Eastern, they had to press multiple times. They got to the front of the rim.
That team is undercover actually pretty good the way it's been put together.
Yeah. They've got good guards. They've got some bigs that are skilled. They gave Western Kentucky a problem as well.
Yep. And
Western's a top 100 Ken Pom team. Keith says he's going to treat us to a Galactic chicken feast. Okay. Might be bad for your wallet, but all right. And Aaron can only eat 2 tendies, so you're probably safe.
I got the 4-piece today. Had 2, and then went on the road. I got 2 for dinner. We're good.
Jeffrey enjoyed seeing JD go in the paint more versus chucking threes. Yeah, when he has a mismatch, he'll do that. I get still nervous seeing him dribble a ton. He's gotten better. It has improved, but it's still not to the point I'd call it a strength. Him, using the bounce to get to the rim.
17 offensive rebounds, though, 25 second chance points. That's the difference in this game.
Yeah, and especially in the first half, they had 12 of those in the first half. They didn't
Yep.
do as good a job of it. Give ECU or EKU some credit. I keep calling them ECU. Give EKU some credit. They did a better job of protecting their defensive glass as the game went on.
They
But Cincinnati
definitely
set the tone early in that game that we're going to crash the glass hard.
made some halftime adjustments there.
Yeah. Who gets your player of the game? Dave?
You can't, like I said, I mean, Hensley had the best game of his career here at Cincinnati, but how is it not Dave? I mean, Dave goes 29 minutes, 9 of 17 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. Again, pretty efficient night. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 22 points. Lots of twos across the board for him.
It was a two kind of night for Dave.
It was
22 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 3 fouls. Yeah, I think it's Dave with Hensley second, Jeremiah third. 3 of 8 from 3 for Jeremiah, 7 of 16 from the floor. Hit both his free throws, had 4 rebounds, had an assist, had 3 steals, led the team in steals. So
how much of a luxury is it to have a guy like Landers Nolly on this team, who we haven't even mentioned in top 3 performers in this game, go 3 for 7, 7 for 8 from the line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, a steal, 14 points.
Yeah,
and it wasn't his best night.
But that's why you go get a player like Landers Nolly, because his quote unquote off nights look like that.
It's a lot of fun, and I'm here for fun. Fun basketball is a different brand of basketball than we've had for the last 3 years, 2 years.
Sorry, blowing my nose.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's a good game. Ultimately, it was a game where they had to work through some adversity, playing well, giving up a big run, and then having to respond and close it out. And you win by 18 in a game that
it got close.
Down to 6? Down to 6, I think.
Got close
at one point. So I like it.
Next up, NKU at NKU on Wednesday, 7:00.
Decision day.
You gonna go?
Yeah, I'll be there. I mean, why wouldn't I go?
It makes sense. I'm not gonna go. But...
It's closer.
For you?
No, for you.
Oh, by that whole
12 minutes.
3 miles as the crow flies.
About 3 minutes, about 12 minutes closer for you.
Yeah.
Cool. Easy trip. Easy peasy.
No.
But yeah, I'll be there. It's right up the road. So
if I got there, I'd show up like the Hangover with the baby strapped to my chest.
Rock it out.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's get Brennix. You said she likes to watch basketball.
She does. I don't know that she's ready for a crowd.
Maybe she'll love it. Maybe she likes crowds.
Going to the Veterans Day assembly for the middle child here was eye-opening enough for her.
She was like, I don't know about this. Who are all these people, and why are they looking at me?
Yep.
Do you have the Hangover thing?
Oh, for sure. Are you kidding me? I was made.
Is that how you walk around like Lowe's?
I haven't gotten to use it too many times yet, but she's still kind of small for it. We'll get there.
Like 2 more months, and we're not going to be able to get that thing off of you.
I can't wait.
You're going to have it on without the baby.
I'm going to be able to get so much done here in the house. Vacuuming and dishes, laundry, baby strap.
While she just smacks the crap out of you from 2 feet away.
Worth it.
All right. Now we're at 90 people. Do we really sign off? I know you want to go. You're tired.
The fun thing is we get to talk about all this stuff all over again tomorrow.
We do.
And I get to do it again on Tuesday.
You do, and then I get to do it again on Wednesday.
You do.
Actually, no. We won't be able to do a Wednesday show.
Nope. You'll be figuring that out this week.
We're going to have to figure something out for Thursday, I guess.
Potentially a special guest tomorrow night, though, on the BBP. One that we haven't had before.
Excited to let that conversation happen.
That could be fun.
Live nightcap if Collier commits. They have a game.
Depends on what time, right?
Yeah, like if he commits to UC at like 2 PM, you're damn right we'll go live.
I might have a baby strapped to me.
She might be the third. We might enter that era of me, Aaron, and Brennix doing what do we call the afternoon ones? Day drinking.
Not the nightcap. It's day drinking. It's fine.
Yeah, it's day drinking here on BearcatJournal.com. But thank you to everybody. If you're here and you haven't, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Love having everybody here. And honestly, like I wish I had a better answer for Collier for you guys. I'd love to be like in a wink, wink, nudge, nudge mode right now, like getting, letting everybody know what was trending for Wednesday. I have no clue. I legitimately have no clue, and I hate it, Aaron.
I
hate it.
As someone who loves surprises, I'm here for it. Like,
and Aaron can validate. I normally, well in advance of what's generally happening.
You tell me a lot. I won't say everything, but a lot.
And usually, when we're 3 days away from an announcement, how often do you know? 95% of the time?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I wish I knew. Life would be so much better right now if I knew, because I would know what my week looks like. I hate not knowing what my week looks like, because let's face it, if Cincinnati lands the number 1 recruit in the country, my week looks a lot different than if they don't, right?
Flip turned upside down.
Yeah. So I wish above anything that I knew, but I don't know. I don't know.
Reagan
said
day
drinking working title.
Thanks.
I mean, if we're gonna have a nightcap, like if we do it during the day, it's got to have. Then we got to stick to the theme. The Galactic fried chicken day drinking show. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well as the nightcap.
It doesn't. We'll still be workshopping some things, but
yeah, we're gonna get Reagan a little bit more involved here real soon.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be day drinking with Galactic fried chicken, or day drinking brought to you by Galactic fried chicken.
Yeah.
At that point,
it doesn't. It's not the nightcap. Is just like that's the name of a show, right? Like it's such a great name of a show.
Yeah, it's because you have an adverb in there in drinking,
right? But that makes it a little bit more difficult of a show name,
of a working title.
Yeah. Day drinking with Galactic fried chicken. I don't think Shane would mind that.
Reagan,
seriously.
Reagan, we'll be in touch for Tuesday.
Ooh, you're gonna little PTP. Do we really want to do that? Subject her to Ed.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
I mean, you and Jeff, I have no issue. We're gonna let Ed around Reagan.
Started from the bottom, now the whole crew's in here.
You're comfortable with that. Even I can see it in your eyes. You're not.
Should be all right.
I'm not saying she can't handle herself. I'm just worried about it. Like,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Right. Exactly. We're still at 88. How are we still at 88?
I don't know.
You guys are the best. We will. We'll see you tomorrow night for the BBP. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. Galactic Fried Chicken is the sponsor. The home is BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!